So now we're gonna look at the NVIDIA best settings for the gaming and for the best optimization for all of the games. It's 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 definitely depend upon the performance rather than the quality. If you want more FPS in the games, and you should have to change these change these settings that am I going to show it to you. If you look at this preview, it's definitely says it's set to the performance rather than the image quality. So now let's go one by one. I personally don't use this sharpening. It just kind of a um, if you use kind of a GPU a scaling, maybe it might be useful if you're playing in a native resolution like 1080p all the time. You don't need this sharpening. So personally, if you sharpen this, it's kind of graining. It is, and the image kind of look crappy. Uh, I recommend to turn this off. And ambient occlusion. If if you look at this, that this thing adds the this thing kind of if you turn this on, it adds the realism. It seems the images looks more realistic, but it costs the GPU performance. You can able to read it in the scenario. I recommend to turn this off. And anisotropic filtering, or maybe you can use can tie in this. You can able to use the two options. It's I want to say application controlled settings. It might work in the so if you want to change this in the game, you can able to use it. But turning this off with completely turning this off and gives you some performance. That's the reason why I turned it off. And anti-aliasing FXXA. If this turns on, it improves the image quality and also that costs the gaming performance. So I recommend to turn this off. This thing is gamma correction, anti-aliasing gamma correction. You can see if it's enabled, it improves the quality. It don't affect the performance in the game. So I recommend to turn this off. So in this mode, anti-aliasing mode, you can able to use the application controlled. If the game has another settings, you can able to use the in-game application settings. If you don't want anything, any HDR or anything else, you can just turn this off. That's it. Now go to CUDA GPU. Make sure to select all the GPUs in it. Click OK. That's it. Click OK. And that selects all the GPUs. If you have a more GPU, just select. So in this low latency and the DSR factor also turn off. It's a dynamic super resolution. I don't need now by playing in the game. You don't need your image to be changing all the time unless you play in uh, a lower resolution. If you play in a native resolution, it won't be needed. For most of the people, it won't need it. I recommend to turn this off. If you play in a low resolution, if you have a 1080p, if you're playing in a low resolution, maybe it's going to be useful, but most of the time just turn this off. And this low latency mode is, look at this, if you turn this off, it's going to queue the frames. So if it's gonna, the GPU is going to queue the frames, it's always going to be a low, so the latency is going to be low, right? If you don't want your frames to be queued, so instead of waiting, it used to be if the frames are queued, that's going to be low latency. If you turn this on, it's gonna be it's set to it's set the frames to frame priority to 1. If you have 80 plus frames, you can able to use the ultra. If you have 80 below frames, use you just use the turn on function. If you have 80 plus frames, you can able to use this ultra. If you play on the 80 below frames, just recommend to use turn on. I'll play at more than 80 frames. I get the RTX 2070, so I selected this ultra. Max frame rate, it depends upon your personal preference. If you want to cap the frames, you use it. I personally don't use this. Now multi-frame sample, I should turn this off. OpenGL rendering GPU. Just select your GPU. That's it. If you have 2 GPUs, just make sure to select the right one. Power management mode, it's always prefer the maximum performance. It gives you the maximum power. If your GPU takes more power, it gets the more performance. I use the Samsung, so make sure to select the highest available. If you have an application control, you can able to use the application control as well. I personally use the highest available. It gives the maximum rate. Shutter crash, shader crash, catch. You should turn this on. It won't affect your performance. If you turn this on, high performance with minimal loss of image quality. If you turn this off, it says it's a you're gonna see the shimmering on objects, but I didn't see anything else. It's just only gonna affect the DirectX programs. I personally don't use this. I still get the best quality and turn this off. Texture quality, set allow for maximum higher performance. If you allow this, you will get the maximum performance. And texture filter quality, just make sure to select the high performance. Tri-linear optimization, if you turn this on, you get the maximum performance. Threaded optimization, make sure to select auto. Triple buffer, if you want to use this, you can able to turn this on, but I don't use this. If I use this when I'm streaming, if your frame rate goes below your below your monitor refresh rate, it's gonna buffer in the stream. If you have a VSync monitor, you can turn this on, but I don't have it, so it automatically it is predefined to 1. Just keep it as it is. It's a virtual reality sampling. Just turn this. Unless you need this, you just keep it as it is. Nope. Make sure that all the settings didn't change much. And moving on to this, I used to instead of selecting the auto, just select the GPU. So the settings, so the physics engine used to accelerate the effects with the GPU instead of your CPU being auto selected. Just keep it as it is. Oh, this is a new one. This is kind of a new update. If you want to change it, you can able to change it. Just keep it as it is. Just make sure to select the maximum refresh rate and the color vibrance. I personally prefer the 80. I like the 80. It looks the best colors. If you have a G-Sync, it's going to show here. Just make sure to select and tick everything. And that's it. if you use these settings, you will get the maximum performance. That's it. Thanks guys.